Hello. Bring it, bitch. It's Brittany, bitch. You like the tunes? Right on, right on. Today's live stream is of significant importance because I've been noticing some things in the world and it's making me a little uncomfortable. And then I see one of the channels that I watch often promoting it, going along with it. I'll explain more here in a minute. With great influence comes great responsibility. Now, I don't want this live stream to seem like an attack on JD or anybody else that's doing what we're going to watch, but I want it to be very clear that what is happening is helping them erode your freedoms in this country. Colors are weird. Let's see. Nope. Nope. There we go. There we go. So, those of you that watch JD's channel, you know that he did a live stream recently, 2 days ago, about Trump speaks on Antifa terror group. Okay. And he had like this round table thing going on. And at this round table, somebody brought up a flag. And we're talking about that it was being burnt by the alleged leader of Antifa, right? And Trump tells the guy, you know who it was? And then he tells him, tell the attorney general and we'll charge him. Immediately, I'm like, what do you mean? Hold on. I thought we were in America. I thought this was Make America Great Again. Isn't this the presidency that we're under right now? And you want to charge people for being Americans? I'm at a loss here. So I watched this stream and then I saw and heard JD cheering on people being arrested for exercising their First Amendment right. Now, while you might not like Antifa, you can't sidestep American freedom and values to accomplish your goal of eradicating them. We can't do that. We can't be a party to that, and I need to point this shit out. I like JD's channel, let me be very clear, but I think it's of the utmost importance that we correct him a little bit. And if you're going to go over to his channel and say anything, be respectful to him. I mean, most people that are cheering this on don't understand that you have a right to do it, that you are the large element in the slow erosion of our First Amendment. Okay, the government can't just snap their fingers and take it away from us. They need you to cheer it on. Do you understand the dynamic here? When you cheer on people being arrested for burning the flag, you are fundamentally cheering on the destruction of the First Amendment and the rest of your rights altogether. We cannot be a party to that. JD, you have a giant audience, bro. You cannot be a party to this either. You can say that burning the flag is for pussies, whatever you want, but encouraging criminal charges against people exercising their rights is fundamentally incorrect. Incorrect. And you have a large audience. You have 31,000 views on this video. And if you clip it, you're going to get a lot more views. So tens of thousands of people are going to potentially see this. And you're going to mislead them thinking that getting charged with a crime for exercising their free speech is a good thing. That's not good, bro. That's not good. You are participating in the erosion of the First Amendment, whether unwittingly or wittingly, but that's what you're doing. I want to read some of this dialogue that I wrote up before we begin with the video, and I make some points here. because I think it's important that we understand where I'm coming from and what I mean by what I'm saying. And I want to talk to you about a critical issue facing our country: the push to criminalize burning the American flag and why that's a dangerous step towards eroding our First Amendment rights. The fact is, burning the flag is protected speech under the United States Constitution, as decided by many Supreme Court case law, but specifically Texas v. Johnson in 1989 stands out. In that case, Gregory Lee Johnson burned a flag during a protest in Dallas, Texas in 1984 to express dissent. To express disagreement and dissent with government policies. Texas charged him under a state law against flag desecration, but the Supreme Court ruled 5-4 that his act was expressive conduct protected by the First Amendment. Justice William Brennan wrote that the government cannot ban speech just because it offends people, because protecting controversial expression is the whole point of free speech. This ruling sets a clear precedent. Laws criminalizing flag burning are unconstitutional. I don't know who's calling me, but I am live streaming right now. Do not call me while I'm live. Now, let's talk about what happens when political leaders ignore this precedent and propose banning flag burning anyway. They know the Supreme Court has ruled against it, but they also know that the flag is a powerful symbol that stirs deep emotions, patriotism, pride, and anger when it's burned. In recent years, as recent as 2023, we've seen bills introduced in Congress to criminalize flag burning, often backed by loud public support. These proposals rely on people cheering them on because no government can easily strip away our constitutional rights without the public's buy-in to it all. In 1990, Congress tried to get around Texas v. Johnson by passing the Flag Protection Act, which made flag burning a federal crime. But the Supreme Court struck it down in United States v. Eichmann, another 5-4 decision, reaffirming that criminalizing flag burning violates the First Amendment. The legal reality is clear, but leaders keep pushing these laws because they know public outrage can give them momentum. Here's the key point. For the government to erode a freedom like our free speech, they need people to cheer it on. When crowds rally behind a president or politician who promises to jail flag burners, they're not just supporting a single law, they're giving the government permission to start chipping away at the First Amendment. This is how constitutional protections get dismantled, folks. Not in one big sweep, but in one small step that seems reasonable to an emotional public. If you cheer for criminalizing flag burning because it feels disrespectful, you're opening the door to the government deciding what other kinds of speech are too offensive to be allowed. The Supreme Court warned in Texas v. Johnson that protecting speech means protecting even the stuff that upsets us. Because once you let the government control expression, it's a slippery fucking slope to silence dissent altogether. This push to criminalize flag burning is the first step towards totalitarianism, because it tests whether the public will trade their rights for a sense of national pride. In 2006, a constitutional amendment to ban flag burning came within one vote of passing the Senate, showing how close we've come when public sentiment is stirred up. Posts on social media and public rallies in 2020 and 2021 showed crowds demanding action against flag burners, often egged on by political rhetoric, framing it as un-American. But the First Amendment exists to protect unpopular speech, like burning a flag to protest, because that's when freedom matters the most. If enough people cheer for these bans, it could pressure lawmakers to keep trying, either through new laws that challenge the courts or by pushing for a constitutional amendment that would permanently weaken free speech protections altogether. So when you hear people cheering for a president who says flag burners should be locked up, understand what's at stake, folks. It stakes. They're not just cheering for a flag, they're cheering for the government to take control over what we can say and how we can say it. The First Amendment isn't just a law, it's the foundation of our ability to question power. If we let the government criminalize one form of speech because the crowd cheers it on, we're handing them the power to decide what comes next. Whether it's protesting, criticizing leaders, or speaking out against injustice, we can't let emotional appeals trick us into giving up our rights. The Constitution protects flag burning for a reason, and it's on us to protect the Constitution by saying no to these dangerous steps. That's why this is important. That's why I'm doing a live stream about this. And that's why I'm going to pick on JD a little bit, because you're cheering it on, bro. I hope that you watch this video. I hope enough of my subs go over there and leave polite comments and let you know that you're wrong with what you're doing, because you have a large audience and the people that watch you are ignorant. They're not educated. They do not know that you have a right to burn the flag. So when you cheer it on, you're giving the administration momentum and authority and power to take away and erode our First Amendment one step at a time. Do not be a part of that. No, none of us Americans, you call yourself a patriot and an American, you should not be a part of that. You can talk shit about somebody burning the flag. Don't encourage them to go to jail. That's not a crime. We are going to watch this, though. And then I'm going to make some points as we watch it. Shout out to JD. If my mods would post his link and this video link while we're watching it, that would be great.
All right, you guys, so I just got made aware of this. This kind of snuck me, not going to lie. Wasn't really expecting this to happen. I kind of knew that a bunch of my friends were in D.C. right now. I didn't know exactly what they were doing or what was going on or when they were going live broadcasting. It has been a whirlwind. There's been so much going on. I was up late last night, live streaming what happened last night outside the ICE detention facility. The Portland police finally showed up and showed out. They actually called in the state police after the Portland Bureau of Police Department's chief got thoroughly spanked by Kristi Noem when she showed up. He walked out of that meeting looking like he just got all of his turds pushed in, man. Like, she literally laid it down on him, and you could tell how defeated he was, because honestly, Chief Day has been in the pocket and associated with Antifa pretty much since the beginning of this. The local government is embedded with Antifa. That just is what it is. It's the very severe liberal government in Oregon loves these Antifa people. They are their foot soldiers. They're like Master Shredder, and these are the abused, traumatized, drug-idled children they sent out to do their terroristic deeds. But this thing is crazy because you're going to see Andy Ngo is here. Nick Shirley is here. I believe Nick Sortor is here. I think Benny Johnson might be there. Let's get into this and see exactly what's going on, because there's a lot popping here. So we're going to jump in right now. And they're
going to be talking journalists, almost all, and they're going to be talking, and we'll take some questions from the press at the end. Okay, Pam, please.
Thank you, President Trump. And as you made clear, Antifa is a domestic left-wing terrorist organization. We've seen them on video for years because they wanted to be seen and they got away with it. They beat journalists, they attack courthouses, they attack police stations, they dox and assault our law enforcement officers. The Biden administration let them commit these crimes with total impunity for years.
What does dox mean? I've seen a lot of this shit. Doxing officers, what, putting their fucking names out there? That's not illegal. I've been putting cops' names on the internet for a hot second. So we don't get to the interesting part for about a half hour, so I'm going to go ahead and skip some of this.
%, he died last night on scene. 90% chance he fucking drowned or he broke his neck because he got chased after he into a looking for a river. Maybe if that dude is it, Tommy, a lot of funding. Why does Eugene Warren be happy button? I want to get back into this because I believe after they speak, we're going to hear from like people that are my friends. Nick Shirley, Nick Sortor's there, Andy No is there. I'm trying to get linked up with Andy No to get him on this channel to speak to you guys. I want to give a quick shout out to Abby, Trev, and Dr. Dre Light, our amazing mods. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Love y'all.
Very much. Thank you. Cash, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, the American people gave you a sweeping mandate in your victory in this election cycle, and they demanded safety and security for our citizens. And your administration, with your leadership, has provided us with the resources that we need, which is a whole of government approach to go after criminals absolutely everywhere, not just outside of this country, but within this country. And that takes a whole of government approach. The interagency seated up here with the Department of Homeland Security, our Attorney General, our Deputy Attorney General, and your White House staffers, and including Stephen Miller's leadership, has allowed us to go out there and map out these networks. What we are doing at the FBI is simple. It does not require rocket science. We are following the money. Money never lies. And that's what it's going to take to bring down this network of organized criminal thugs, gangbangers, and yes, domestic terrorists, because that's what they are. They are harming everyday citizens in every single one of our communities. And the folks you see here on the right and left, they're some of the bravest men and women we have today. They're reporting the stories live time because the mainstream media won't cover it. They're putting their lives on the line. They're standing up for the flag. The least we can do is stand up for them. So you have my thanks. I read more of your stories than I do theirs because you guys are putting out the truth.
Let's fucking go, you guys. Let's fucking go. That is amazing to hear Cash say this. First off, following the money to not just get the people that are the foot soldiers on the ground, but get the people that are funding them, the people that are in power that are funding them. And then on top of that, he's giving props to my colleagues.
This is dangerous. This is very dangerous right here. Hold on, let me fix my shit. This is dangerous right here, because what is Antifa? Can anybody actually tell me what Antifa is? And I'm being serious. I know we see people at protests and shit in all black wearing face masks. Oh, that's Antifa, right? Or is it? What is Antifa? Does anybody in here actually know who or what Antifa is? And I'm being very serious. See, none of you even know what the fuck it is in here. You want to know why that's dangerous, that you don't know what it is? Because First Amendment auditing, cop watching can easily be looped and grouped into an arm of Antifa. I mean, JD's literally blaming the fucking police chief of being embedded with the Antifa. You think your First Amendment shit's safe, bro? The federal government is after you. I'm telling you right now, they don't want you recording shit. And frankly, they're using people like JD as mouthpieces to spread this fucking... What are you even talking about, homie? You First Amendment auditors, you're going to be looped into this Antifa shit. I'm telling you right the fuck now, they're going to classify you that. You're going to go into a federal database. Your rights are... As soon as you get classified as a domestic terrorist, they don't have to do all the shit that they normally have to do. They get to skip a lot of shit with you. That's why they're doing this. You know, when things go federal, they have a lot more fucking leeway to do whatever they want. Why do you think they were trying to label me as an undocumented Aryan brother from the Arizona prison system? Because the moment they could fucking do that, they're labeling me as a domestic terrorist, and then the federal government can use whatever resources they want to fucking spy on me and watch me and do whatever they want to me. This is dangerous as fuck right here. Don't play into the feds, dude. This shit's scary as fuck. You have a big mouth, JD. You need to like be mindful of what you're promoting and you're paying attention to here. It's not good. This is not good, bro.
To the people that are out there doing the same thing I went out there and did. I was talking with somebody and I was like, man, all the homies is there. Why am I not there? And what was brought up to me is, well, they really don't like all the attention on the Epstein shit. And you've been going pretty hard on the Epstein shit. And I was like, yeah, no, that.
This is how they begin to control you. JD, I hope you watch this stream, bro. I really hope you watch this stream. This is how they control the narrative. It's not with a $10,000 paycheck. It's not with like you can now do some stuff you couldn't do before. This is how they start to control you right here. You weren't invited because you're talking about Epstein. So now you're probably not going to talk about him anymore because you want to be invited. It's access. It's prestige. You're being manipulated, homie. I mean, you literally just told me that's how it starts right there. They got in there. Your friends are in the federal building because they agreed not to talk about certain things. This is how that works. You're not all the way in yet, so I'm trying to help you here, bro. I mean, I've been doing this shit for a hot second with these kind of people. They're trying to control you. They're trying to control you. This is how it works.
Yeah, that might make sense. That might be a problem. But I'm still going to do what
That might be a problem. It's not a problem. We need to talk about Epstein.
I got to do. I'm going to stay morally consistent and I'm going to call out any type of corruption where I see it on any side because the American people deserve better than that.
And we deserve.
Good. Fuck yeah. I hope you stay true to that because they are trying to manipulate you. And calling out corruption would be calling the president out for trying to criminalize people exercising their First Amendment, JD. That's important. That's important. That's corruption.
Serve a country where you are protected as equally as they are. We, in this FBI, will go after with the criminals with a vengeance. We will not rest until we find every single seed, money, donor, organization, and funding mechanism that we have. And I want to echo the Secretary's comments on Scott Bessent, who's allowing us to map out these networks through their financial criminal activities, which has been going on for decades. And I would like to remind the American public, they built this disease temple of corruption over decades. And in 8 short months, Mr. President, you have crippled their foundation because of your leadership here, because of the interagency, because of people like Deputy Attorney General Blanche, and because of Attorney General Pam Bondi's fearless leadership to go after criminals wherever they are. They will not be able to hide. They were able to hide and conspire with prior administrations, and we are exposing their corruption from within. And we will go to every single city in this country under Operation Summer Heat and the other operations we are doing at the FBI to bring these criminals to justice. We will arrest every single one of them from whatever perch you sit in, private or public, no matter how your goal or your ambition is. It will be crushed by the Constitution because the American people deserve law and order, and that's what we're going to give you.
Thank you very much, Cash. Great job.
They talk out both sides of their neck. We're going to crush you with the Constitution while the president is sitting next to me trying to criminalize people exercising constitutional rights. Do you see the hypocrisy flying around in this room? This is disappointing. Yeah, this is very disappointing. And you folks that are watching this, I mean, you have a responsibility too. When you see videos that are being posted, you see people that are inaccurately saying things, you need to call it out. Somebody cheering on the flag being burnt, you need to leave a comment at the minimum and be like, that's the First Amendment. Are you anti-American? Why are you trying to criminalize the First Amendment? If you can say all the I'm a patriot bullshit you want until you're blue in the face, but your actions speak way louder than any words you could ever say to me, okay? When you're cheering on criminalizing First Amendment protected activity, you either fundamentally don't understand our freedoms as American or you're lying.
Oh, maybe we'll start over here. Would any of you like to say something? Feel free to say it in front of a fine group of people, also journalists and reporters. You want to start?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. President Trump, members of the cabinet, really
For those of you who don't know, this is Nick Sortor. He is an independent journalist who was arrested for being assaulted by Antifa in Portland, Oregon the other night. Instead of the cops going and arresting the multiple people who assaulted him, one of which was a transgender Antifa person in a mask,
A Decepticon, basically.
who assaulted him, threw a punch at him, and then multiple others jumped in. They arrested Nick and charged him. And then they ended up having to drop the charges. 2 more mods have jumped in. We have Sarah Beamer, our sister, and Doc, who is not only a mod, but he is now our editor. So big love to them. Let's hear what Nick has to say.
appreciate you guys bringing this together. And the fact that we are here today on such short notice shows how serious you guys are taking this issue of trans terrorists and frankly, the cities and police departments that are cooperating with Antifa, such as Portland. I mean, the Portland politicians are literally willing to sacrifice their own citizens just to appease these Antifa terrorists. It's sickening. I've seen it firsthand, obviously. When I went to jail that night, never expected it to happen. I thought that they were maybe removing me for my own safety. It never crossed my mind that I was the one that was being arrested for a crime after I was just thrown into a hole. I heard from the Department of Homeland Security after I had gotten out of jail, and one of your, I won't say exactly who it was, but somebody very close to Secretary Noem over here said that they were legitimately worried for my safety in the Portland jail. But luckily, the Portland jail was, I was the only one there, essentially, because they don't actually arrest people in Portland, besides conservative journalists, I guess. So
Worried for your safety in the jail? Bro, what are you even talking about? This is some fucking wet napkin shit if I ever heard it. Homie, I've done 7 years in some of the harshest fucking prisons in Arizona. Don't tell me nothing about a jail, bro.
Look, I'm glad that it was not a good night for me. Let's just say that. It was not fun sitting in that jail, but I'm glad to see what has
Brother, jail is not supposed to be fun.
come of it. And I've been able to talk to a bunch of FBI agents, ATF agents, DHS agents that I didn't even know existed until I went there and went to that ICE facility. And the morale is at an all.
Hey, bro, if you know him in person, then and you've been watching my stream, then have a serious friend conversation with him. Because that's the whole point of my channel, is promoting the Constitution and adherence to it from the government, okay? And when homies up here to tens of thousands of people fucking cheering on criminalization of the First Amendment, this is kind of counterproductive to patriotism. This is kind of counterproductive to America. You know what I'm saying? Homie, this is not good. This shit's not good. You need to let them know this makes them like look bad, bro, to actual patriots and people that respect the fucking Constitution. And like, how are his veteran friends not saying something to him? I got a shitload of vets that watch my shit, and I guarantee you every fucking one of them is going to be nodding their head at everything that I've said. I don't know, bro. This bothers me. I see government influence. Listen, let me be very clear. I'm not saying JD's some fucking government guy at all. I'm not. I wouldn't have been promoting or watching his shit if I thought that, believe me. But I know how the feds and local government act, and I know how they try to worm their way into influencing shit. And the media is dying right now. We all know the media is on its way out. They're taking their fucking dying breaths right now. Next 20 years, I don't think we're even mainstream media. What is that? We're going to be getting our information from JD, from people like me, from other YouTubers. You know what I mean? Like normal people that don't have an interest. But the government, they've been doing this shit for a long time. They know how to influence. That's how they corrupted what was supposed to be the fourth branch of America, the media, to keep everything in balance and shit. The government understood this and it started to influence it and infiltrate it with ex-CIA analysts. I mean, dude, I could go on for hours on how they fucked the whole mainstream shit up, but the media in America started out as balancing for the government, as transparency and calling things out, and then the government started to fucking manipulate the media. Now the media is dying out. Influencers and podcasters are rising up, and the government's taking notice, and they're starting to do the same thing in the same arena. They're working their influences in. This administration is the first one to start doing it openly. Blocked again. Who I blocked? Yeah, man, if you know this dude, you need to have a chat with him, bro. I mean, I like this cat. He commands a lot of attention. So it's important that like he understands what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Time high. It is so exciting to see these guys know now that they have the backing of the secretary, the DOJ, as well as the president of the United States, and they are there to do their job.
Except you could definitely tell that the Portland police chief Day, he had the opposite look on his face when he walked out of whatever wag of the finger or scolding or full-on spanking he got from Secretary Noem. He walked out of that room looking like he just got his shit pushed in. I've seen dudes in prison walk out of somebody else's cell with that look in their eyes like they just got their shit pushed all the way back up into their tummy tum. And that's
Seamus, no, you're not understanding. The Biden administration threatened social media and silence shit. Okay, this administration is the first administration to basically say all mainstream media is not welcome in the White House. We want influencers to come in. Okay, this is like one of the first administrations to, like, I know other presidents have gone on shows and shit, but we had the president go on podcasts and shit. You know what I mean? They are actively embracing the new form of media in America, and that's how they start to manipulate it. That's by access, and you want in the room? Don't stop talking about Epstein. That's how this shit works. Why do you keep putting dots in the chat? You think you're getting blocked or something, bro? What the fuck? I mean, I'm not complaining, but I'm just curious. You see me in his comments? Did you see the comment I left on this video? I'll read to you. I left him a comment on this video that, of course, nobody's seen. But I said, damn, bro, don't cheer the orange man encouraging criminal charges for someone burning the flag, dude. Regardless of how much you don't like the guy, it's his American right. And Floyd died from a cop suffocating him. His and our criminal past don't make us less human. This stream is a bad look, homie. This is just a bad look, bro. And that's another thing. Like, he talks about George Floyd here in a minute, and I'm gonna kind of pick at him about that because It don't matter what George's criminal past was. And to go along with this narrative that he died of a fentanyl overdose is asinine. I am I'll be a recovering drug addict my whole life. I mean, I used to do heroin in prison. I've seen people die from heroin overdoses. I've seen people die from fentanyl overdoses. You are not talking. This is the biggest argument that I'm going to have about this situation, because you don't have a rebuttal for it. The dude was saying he couldn't breathe. When you are actively overdosing on fentanyl or heroin, you're not talking to anybody. Your eyes are rolled up into the back of your head. You stop breathing. You stop moving. You puke and choke on your phlegm, on your spit. You stop. You choke yourself. Your heart stops beating, then you shit on yourself, then you piss on yourself, you defecate, your body releases all of its fluids. You never seen anybody die, bro? I have. I've seen this shit happen right in fucking front of me in prison. I know what it looks like. To tell me that this man died of a fentanyl overdose as opposed to the fucking cops killing him, you're trying to convince the wrong person. I know what fentanyl looks like when somebody's dying. They're not talking, least of all breathing. I'm going to stand on this because I've seen it. And I feel like everybody that has an opposing argument to this, you've never actually witnessed somebody dying of this. It's easy to convince you because you have no experience.
Exactly the look that he had on his face. I've been to that jail that he was in, by the way, multiple times. It's not a fun place to go. MCDC, the Multnomah County Detention Center, is a whole pile of dicks, bro. It sucks.
They are going to fulfill this mission and deport these violent criminals. I believe one of the ones that I did a ride along with Secretary Noem yesterday, President Trump, and there was a pedophile that had come into the country 5 times over the past 7 years.
Oh, and by the way, fentanyl and heroin overdoses doesn't drag out for the length of that video. Just to be clear on some shit, when you overdose on fentanyl or heroin, it's immediate. It happens immediately. Okay, there's a lot of videos online of people actually overdosing. There's one of these two black dudes in a car, right? One of them smoking fentanyl or heroin or something, smokes it, blows it out immediately. Like this. There's no talking. There's no moving around. That shit happens fast as fuck, bro. He's sitting there, I can't breathe. He ain't overdosing. He's being murdered.
7 years. And apparently under the Biden regime, that was just allowed to happen. That was fine. No problem. It's concerning to me that you're seeing the Portland Police Department, as well as the governor of Oregon and the mayor, of course, coming out and running defense for pedophiles that have entered the country illegally 5 times. It's crazy. I'm glad it's taking a front row seat in the media. And,
this is another weird thing, bro. You guys are all these dudes arguing about 5 pedophiles came into America. What about the tens of thousands that are already here, that are Americans, that are probably sitting next to this motherfucker in this meeting? This is the kind of shit that pisses me the fuck off. We're using this immigration bullshit to perpetuate political agendas, when the reality is America has fucking probably millions of pedophiles, homie. What the fuck are we tripping about a couple coming over the border when nobody gives a fuck about how many are already here? That's what I want people to start caring about. Like, why are we talking about this shit on the news? Why aren't we just talking about the fucking constant cops that are getting caught with children, getting caught messing with children, the constant political figures getting messing with children and underage prostitutes and shit? What about the Israelis that are coming here, getting caught in fucking sex trafficking stings, and then being allowed to go back to their country without criminal charges? What about that shit? Israel's America's biggest ally. Why the fuck aren't we talking about that shit? No, we want to cry about a couple fucking immigrants that come over and ignore the bigger problems. I love it, bro. I fucking love the fucking dynamics here.
Being forced to talk about it in reality, because we're the ones that were on the ground. We're the ones that are actually reporting what's going on. And much of the legacy media has been either ignoring it or covering for Antifa for years now. So thank you guys so much for taking this seriously. And President Trump, you mentioned that flag.
Somebody asked, what's the side-eye blonde problem? Are you talking about Katie? Katie still got a black eye because she was attacked by Antifa. They hit her in the face with a weapon. And the police refused to arrest the person. Her and her security guard cornered the person that assaulted that blonde woman to the left there, right above me on screen. And the Portland police refused to do anything about it. They refused to do any arrest.
Remember, you put out a truth right after I took this flag from that man that was burning it in the street.
Do you know who?
The man who was burning it in the street's name is Richard, and he is the head of Antifa in Portland, Oregon. I'm expecting to see federal fucking charges, a conviction, and federal prison time for that maggot.
Who he is?
Oh, yeah.
Why, dude? No. Federal prison. JD, you've done time, homie. I've done time too. You want to send Americans there for exercising their rights because you don't like them? Because they're a piece of shit? Bro. You don't think he means for the flag? You want to listen to it again?
Yeah, I know.
Of Antifa. The man who was burning it in the street's name is Richard, and he is the head of Antifa in Portland, Oregon. I'm expecting to see federal fucking charges, a conviction, and federal prison time for that maggot.
Who he is?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Dude, did I misunderstand something? We're only talking about the flag being burned right now. He didn't elaborate on anything else.
I know exactly who it is.
So why don't you give it to Pam? Give it to the Attorney General, and let's start prosecutions.
Yeah, I actually have a second flag.
Fuck yes. Yes, get Richard off the streets. He is a violent, demented, perverted terrorist. He is probably, I would bet everything I got on me right now that dude, if you check his hard drive, that Richard has a whole bunch of shit that is illegal that has to do with kids, man. I'd be willing.
What the fuck, homie? I mean, I can understand if you don't understand that it's a protected right. I can understand if you don't understand, JD, and maybe other people in here. And hey, I have a lot of people that I don't like. If Chris Christopher was burning the flag, I'd be saying the same thing. And I like to make these comparisons because you guys know how much I don't like some of these people. So like Sam Queef, the fucking idiots, all the people I talk shit about, I'd be talking the same way that I am right now about them if they were the ones burning the flag and somebody's encouraging them to go to prison over that. We've been to prison, homie. You know, the people that are in there, they're not in there for burning flags and stupid shit like that. You want to send fucking people, normal people, into, as much as you don't like them, into the fucking the Thunderdome, into gladiator school over burning a flag, bro. There's fucking crazy you've been to prison, bro. That's the craziest part to me. We should encourage actual prisons or actual criminals to go to prison, not just people we don't like doing things that we don't like. Dude, this is upsetting. Just, hey, who's the guy that says he knows him? What's his name? True Frag. Does he have like a legal team that he talks to about this kind of shit? I mean, he needs somebody that understands, that has some fundamental understanding of this before he does this, bro. Because this is bad PR. He's got enough attention right now where PR is important. I mean, you're going to lose a lot of fucking important support from people that when you do this kind of shit. And the stupid people that would cheer it on, hey, whatever. Yeah, he needs somebody, bro. He needs somebody. I know a bunch of different lawyers all around the country. If he needs a fucking, I'm sure he can get contacts from people, but I also have them. Bird family, welcome to Next Level. Shit is fucked up and stuff, yeah. Yeah, this is not good, bro. This is a bad look, and you're essentially helping the government get rid of our First Amendment. This is why my channel exists. JD, if you ever do watch this and you get to this point, I mean, that's why the Direct D channel exists, is to point this kind of shit out and help people that watch, and especially my kids and my old lady, understand the Constitution and how the government needs to adhere to it and how it applies to us as normal folk. That's why that's the whole shit, that the whole reason my channel exists is what's happening right here, to point this kind of shit out.
Victor said Ice for Real needs the big pressure washer. Patrick said, for the wood chipper fund, thank you so much, Patrick. Suchka's here, you guys. Hell yeah. Jim Brown for the wood chipper fund. Thank you so much, Jim. Love you, brother. Victor said, welfare check. Your voice box feel better from the pepper spray, JD? It does. It's doing a lot better. I've been live streaming a lot lately, so my voice may sound a little bit raspy, but that's just normal wear and tear, man. Secret Agent Randy Beans. I always laugh how people cry January 6th until they turn blue. Will turn around and defend a group who burns down cities for any minor inconvenience. Well, their hero, George Floyd, I mean, come on. He only was a career criminal who was high on fentanyl, who also held a woman at gunpoint, a pregnant woman, while his homies robbed her house. Rick Robbins, I was responding.
What? Homie, have you risen so high as to forget where you've been? So disappointing to hear this, dude. So disappointing to hear this. I've done worse shit than that, bro. Not to some pregnant lady. I've never done any crimes to a woman or child, but I've done some pretty heinous shit in my fucking life. I can only imagine when the cops kill me how I'm going to be talked about. Wild. So being a career criminal, being on drugs, and have committed certain crimes makes you less human I mean, the only way that works is if dude was a registered SO and it's been proven, and that's the kind of person that he was. I wouldn't say anything, but I'm not going to sit up here and defend some subhuman piece of shit like that. But that's not who George was. Yeah, sure, he was a drug addict. Sure, he was a criminal. Sure, he was on drugs that day. Sure. Does that make the motherfucker less human? I'm a criminal, bro. I used to do shit like that. I'm not a criminal anymore, but I used to be a criminal. I used to do all the shit you can list off for George Floyd. Bro, you know how many times I've been on drugs when I've gotten arrested? I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this at all. Not even a little fucking tiny bit. He's not some saint. Let's be very clear about this. But he was a tipping point for America to start understanding how bad the police are. That's what George Floyd did. He's not some superhero or some fucking saint. What he was is a point in history when America started to understand that the police are out of control. That it's not a race thing with the cops anymore. It's not a race thing with the cops anymore. Let's be fucking clear about that. You guys have been watching my channel for years. Watch the cops fuck with me here in Arizona. Look how white I am. You try and tell me this is some race bullshit? Miss me. Prohibited me from for 3 years, huh? I have warrants for that. I'm not prohibited from doing anything outside of getting arrested if I do it. Unlike a lot of these fucking faggots, I refused to take a plea or accept what they were telling me. I told them I wouldn't serve one fucking day, and I haven't served one fucking day. I bought my property, I built on my property, and done everything that I've wanted to do up until that point. Because when I went to court that day, I realized that this was all a charade. This was all a charade. You can either make money doing it like you do, or you can make videos doing it like everybody else. I don't really want to do either of that. I was never interested in suing them. It's not a monetary thing. If I was going to sue somebody, it would be to put my name in history. That's what I want. I don't give a fuck about some money in my pocket. I want my name in American history, American legal history. The only case that I've taken to court was over fucking Google and trying to get into my warrants. And Google fucked that case up, so I missed my opportunity there. But outside of that, I'm not interested in suing them to line my pockets or whatever the fuck, bro. I don't do that kind of shit. There's a reason I haven't. You know just as well as I know that we make more money doing this YouTube shit than you could make on a lawsuit. Now, you've gotten lucky a few times, but generally the amount of time and effort that it takes to pursue a lawsuit, you're going to make way fucking more on YouTube making little stupid videos. Tell me I'm wrong. You, Jeff, and me, and everybody else are accomplishing nothing. We are accomplishing nothing. You're receiving tax dollars. You're not creating change. You know that. I know it. The next time somebody goes and stands outside of those buildings and it's not you doing the exact same thing, they're going to get arrested. But they're not going to have a lawyer. They're not going to have fire to help them. They're not going to have all the support that you have, okay? That's why you're not helping anything and you're not changing anything. None of this shit is changing anything. This is going to be the fucking fundamental destruction of the First Amendment before anything that you or anybody else with these stupid fucking channels are going to change, bro. He's trying to criminalize burning the flag. This is the first step. What's next? Identifying you as part of Antifa. Now you're Antifa and you can't even fucking do that shit anymore. Now the feds have identified you as a domestic terrorist and we can look through all your shit. We don't need warrants. Fuck all that shit. You're crazy. You have no idea what the fuck you guys are doing. It's fun to go out there. Sure, we're paying the bills. We're taking care of shit, but we are not doing anything productive. Not at all. And no, I haven't sued anybody, but the cops did start treating me different. They didn't treat people in Mesa different. They didn't treat other people recording different. They treated me specifically different. I wasn't creating any change. Nothing. I cost the taxpayers millions of dollars in Arizona. I cost myself fucking money doing what I was doing, and I accomplished nothing. Nothing. Little Long Island audits, faggots. And you guys are like, yeah, but you can record in police stations. No, you can't record in police stations. He can record in police stations, not you. You guys don't understand this shit. The fucking things that are happening benefit the individual that's on the fucking internet, not you watching. James Freeman's arrest the other day. Well, who did that benefit? Whose rights did he stand up for? He already said he's not going to sue anybody over that. He just wants to make videos. So what the fuck are you donating and encouraging this shit for other than your own entertainment? There's nothing happening that's benefiting all of us collectively as Americans. You're not doing anything that's benefiting my children. You're not doing anything that's benefiting your fucking children. This shit is going to come first. Miss me.
To a comment, I appreciate the work you do, JD. Love you, brother. I appreciate you, my man. Big love. Timmy said, Tina Tampax for a chipper ride. The tampon dictator of Oregon is getting called out hard today, and we need to see it. Corey Davis, dude, your dogs. Dude, are those your dogs? Hey, JD, I just wanted to reach out and let you know that Bunny XO is moving from Patreon to Kick, and I think she's going to do paid subscriptions through YouTube, and I know how they've been censoring you. Look out for her. I will always look out for sis. I love Bunny so much. She has been such an amazing friend and sister to me and Jack.
Homie, they haven't been censoring you. When you have 1,000+ people in your chat, you ain't being censored. Let me tell you.
Literally one of the dopest humans I know, and I love your Frenchies, homie. Nick Tooley, his attorney requested discovery of all communications between the Portland Police Department and Antifa. 45 minutes later, they dropped all the charges. Now, I was waiting to see if Nick said that. I wanted you guys to hear it in his own words. I'm hoping he still brings that up. I'm super encouraged that he brought that flag and that he called out Richard, and to hear the President of the United States put in a command to the feds to bring Richard into custody, charge him, and convict him makes my heart so fucking happy.
Yikes. Yikes, bro. How does the saying go? You won't even know you've been enslaved, but you'll be cheering it on when it happens. You'll be cheering it on when it happens. This is why this is dangerous. Those people that are sitting up there would love to eliminate the First Amendment. Trump, he don't want you to be able to make funny memes about him no more. None of these people, you know what I mean? They don't want you to be able to do that anymore. But they can't just be like, your First Amendment's gone. Can't do that. They can't do that because that will start a civil war. That'll start a war right fucking now if they tried to do that. You know what they do is they get people like JD to, and I hate using him as an example, but bro, you're doing it right now. They get people like him to cheer it on. That's when the politicians on your state level start introducing legislation because public opinion is being swayed in the direction that they might be able to get people to agree with their legislation that they introduce and pass it. And then they'll start criminalizing you. Yeah, a lot of lawsuits will happen. It'll go back and forth for years, but eventually, and we only need to look at other countries around the world to take examples of where your freedoms wind up. Where your freedoms wind up.
This is incredible. This needed to happen. Mandy said in 2020 that police chief left his city while it burnt down and went to a DEI conference. That dude is a whole dick sucker. Period, point blank. He does not care about the people that he is in charge of keeping safe. Christine Warner, thank you so much, sis. Victor said, can Elon buy YouTube and stop censoring me? That would be wild, bro. Imagine if you could get away with all the stuff on YouTube that you could get away with on X. That would go crazy. Dick said, on behalf of the National Alliance of Richards, we don't claim that one. Fair, and I love you, bro. Christian, thank you so much. Crazy Mama J, appreciate you. Victor said, I'm a bounce with an insult, JD. The chicken or green mayo? Which one would you rather, D-Lo? Oh, bro, I'm not. I can't. I would always choose the green mayo over the chicken, bro. Damon, make Portland great again. JD delay for 2028. Love you, brother. Appreciate you. Okay, so let's hear the rest of what Nick has to say.
That he tried to burn as well. So I have two of them from
Well,
the
you
same
also
guy.
saw what happened when that flag started burning. Everyone went crazy. And that's when it started, when they started burning the flag. So thank you. If you could give the information, it would be great.
Absolutely.
And at least that horrible night made you famous.
You guys think he's stupid, but he knows exactly what he's doing. When they started burning it, that's when they went crazy.
You got
He was
something.
already
I got a text from the president of the United States, so I appreciate that.
And President Trump, after that happened to Nick, I called Harmeet Dillon and we opened a pattern and practice investigation into the Portland police very publicly as to how they let this happen.
Thank you, sir.
So, as Pam Bondi said, they are now investigating the Portland Bureau of Police.
Under Monell. Patterns and practices.
Which is needed to happen very evidently in the way that they dealt with everything in 2020. It's needed to happen since at least then. I could source a few incidents that could have made it necessary to investigate them federally before that, but that's the biggest and most obvious starting point of where they should start their investigations, all the way through what they were doing last fucking night there. I've been watching. We see you. Because of these brave, independent journalists out there, the local news, I live here in Oregon, the local news is not covering this. The local news refused to cover this for over 100 days. It took people like Nick Sortor, Nick Shirley, me, Katie Davis.
Yeah, Bear, exactly. He just correlated the increase of violent tension to the flag burning. It's legal manipulation. That's what they're doing.
Court, Honey Badger Mom, Speak the Truth, all of us going out there and actually showing what's actually going on before anybody paid attention. And now my colleagues are sitting speaking with the President of the United States about this shit. That's the power that independent journalists have in this country, and they're the only ones with any credibility in this country anymore, in my personal opinion, because the media is bought and sold. And yes, let's not forget Tommy Boy, out there, double knockout king, just knocking Antifa out right and left with a phone in one hand, just swinging with the other. Absolutely. Facts.
Mr. President, Brandy Cruz, you're going to hear us be very fired up today, and you can tell, and it's because some of us have been covering Antifa for 15 years and have never had anyone in a position of authority even acknowledge their existence. And I'll also tell you that I think that had you not done, the single most powerful thing you've done to deal with this scourge has been acknowledging that Antifa is a real thing. I genuinely believe there would be people at these tables who would be dead today and would have been killed in Portland had you not called them a terror organization and said, we're going to bring the full weight of the federal government to bear. I talked to Katie Davis in Portland the other day. She'd been assaulted all summer. And she said the same thing. They didn't seem quick to violence as soon as you made that designation.
Oh my God.
So they're thinking in their...
Oh my God. This shit is so dangerous, bro. This shit is so fucking dangerous. You guys have no idea what you're doing. You have no idea what you're doing. So the federal government can't do certain things that it's trying to do right now without having a legal enemy to fight. So they have to classify an enemy in the United States, and there isn't one right now. Do you understand? This loose Antifa bullshit is meant to create an enemy, to create a reason to do what you're seeing. What's actually happening is we're having a small rise up of groups of people that are upset with what's happening in their communities. To call it Antifa is buying into the, I think this is just buying into the fucking, their plan to, I don't even fucking know, bro. This is not good. Everybody's going to be classified as Antifa. And that's going to be the excuse. A terrorist organization, because they need to do that. Yeah, you need to call it, you need to have a group or an organization. Now we have a reason to send troops in. Now we have a reason to sidestep certain things. I want them to identify this a little bit more. When they say like KKK or the skinheads or, you know, Mexican gangs or black gangs, there's identifying tattoos. There's, they all dress a certain way. There's certain music and handshakes and like, let's fucking identify this group a little bit more before we throw a blanket Antifa fucking phrase on everything. I think that shit's dangerous. I think that's dangerous. It's a boogeyman. Yeah. Another boogeyman. I don't know, man. I don't see this going good.
Heads. They're worried. There's been 24 or so arrested in Portland. They don't want to go to federal prison. There's this video of them, one of them who was in the face of an ICE agent, and then he's in custody shaking. Once you take the mask off, they're nothing. And I was told by probably a dozen people not to tell you this. I'm going to tell it to you anyway, because it's relevant to what we're talking about. I'm living proof that you can recover from TDS. I had strong Trump derangement syndrome for probably 8 years. This is one of the reasons I recovered from it. And by the way, it's much better to not have TDS. I'm happier, I'm healthier, more successful. I even think I got a little more attractive after I got rid of my Trump derangement syndrome. Yes. You know, I'm a reporter in Seattle, and frankly, I could not care any less what any of you have to say about this meeting. Could not care any less. We're not here for you. I'm not here to convince any of you that Antifa is a real thing, because if you have not come to that conclusion by now, you are never going to come to that conclusion because you don't want to see it. And you're going to go and you're going to say it's a bunch of right-wing conservative influencers who are here spinning a tale. I was one of you. I was a mainstream reporter in Seattle for 10 years. I was a TV reporter on the streets doing my job, and I was still assaulted by Antifa.
You guys, you heard it here first. You can recover from violent retardation. You can recover. You can be made healed and whole again. You can accept that there's a reality to what's going on the streets that you can see with your own eyes. And you don't have to have people telling you that it's not happening. Define your reality for you. I wanted to say this because Karen just brought.
I have a lot of perspective on this, JD and other people. When I was active out cop watching 2021, 2022, 2022 during a lot of protests and shit here in Arizona, I was around a lot of these people that you would call Antifa. And it's not a group of people like you think. It's a bunch of disillusioned kids that have nothing better to do. It's more of a hangout party kind of thing. They actually do a lot of drugs, and they meet. They have there's always a place where they all fucking text each other to meet up at. But I've been around these people when I'm out there at these protests, and to think that this is some organized terrorist organization where there's some mechanism funding them and telling them what to do is crazy. Maybe I've just missed it while I was out there fucking involved in documenting all this shit, but bro, none of them dudes had money. Like the shit that the gas mask that they would get and shit, that's donated. Somebody comes and drops that shit off. I've been there when it happens, when the face masks get dropped off. Nobody knows that the shit's coming. They're just like, oh shit, they're giving out masks, and then everybody goes over there and fucking gets one. And then it's the optics because there's somebody else recording it. So now, oh look, they're dispersing masks. It's a fucking charade. I don't know, bro. I want to know more. I want this Antifa shit defined more heavily for me before you're going to get me to believe that there is a real threat in America called Antifa. What do the tattoos look like? How do they identify themselves with each other? If this is an organization, there's rules, there's bylaws. Like, I've been in prison. I know how organizations work. It's hard to convince me that there's some fucking gang of anti-fascists. Whatever the fuck. Why are we even tripping about somebody being anti-fascist in the first place? Just a word at its core, anti-fascism, should be a good thing, right? You would think it's a good thing. What the fuck is happening right now, bro? I've been around organizations in prison. There's tattoos. There's bylaws. There's rules you have to follow. There's shit you got to do. There's a hierarchy. What's the fucking hierarchy here? What are the identifiers? You're going to have a hard time convincing me. I've been around actual gangsters like this. Antifa, what the fuck, bro? You know, all the actual gangs in America are like,
brought this up, and this really sucks. This is really sad, man. Tommy Boy, the two-time knockout champ, had to quit his job today because they found out where he worked and started doxing him at work. Well, you know what? Sounds like we need to set up. I've been talking to Tommy Boy for a little bit today. This must have happened after I talked to him.
Whatever. I'm over it. I'm over it. I'm over it. We'll go to full cam. Yeah, I want to know the structure. I want to know more about this Antifa nonsense before you're going to get me to buy into any of this. Because I'm leery of everything that's being said. My chart charts. Fuck yeah. Who was in a bad boy summer camp where we learned boy band dances like Backstreet Boys, all their dancing. We learned how to do that shit there. Define the current mafia that controls the U.S. Zionist Israeli government. Boom. You want to know who runs America? Israel. Let us not forget the survivors of the Liberty. Don't forget that Israel was trying to conduct war crimes on the day that our American ship was bombed by Israel. And it was an American spy ship that was collecting data. And Israel didn't want the Americans to collect their war crime data. So they tried to blow the fucking ship up and sink it and all of the data that it had. And then they covered it up for PR. That's when true control over this country changed right there with that incident. If you are not familiar with that incident, it's something that America doesn't like to talk about. But the survivors and their family meet every year, and they don't forget. Yep, never forget the survivors. No, that's not what happened. Pack another one. True Frag, are you a veteran? I'm guessing because of your name. Anti-cheater in video games. Hell yeah. I used to cheat really heavily on BattleNet when I played Diablo 2 back in the day. When it was easy to build your own bot programs that would play the game for you, pick up items, heal you, and all that shit. And then you inject the map hack in there, or a map reveal. But they crack down heavy on that shit. So you can't, you have to rework the coding to avoid their detectors. Like every couple of months. So it's not even worth it. Smoke them if you got them. The devs are always on the lookout for cheaters. Yeah, I fuck with video games a little bit too. I got a nerd side. Like I've read all the Harry Potter books, all the Lord of the Ring books, the original ones and how they were originally written, the Dune books. I've written all the Game of Thrones, read all the Game of Thrones books. Yeah, I'm a nerd like that. All the Aragon series. Oh, no, nobody's going to respond. No, you won't see a response from anybody. They may come into the chat, but outside of that, no. To entertain me would not be good for them. Because you have no logical or reasonable defense to anything that I said. And the people that watch know that. See, I can come up here and just be like, yeah, fuck that guy, fuck him, he's an idiot, I don't like none of them, they're stupid. Give you no reasons. But if I use logic with my arguments, yeah, I can get some people to understand. Like I've already done. I already done did it. Now, while you, the viewers, are not seeing any effects of my live stream, let me promise you, that the one where I fuck everybody live stream, yeah. Let me promise you right now that there's some ripples that have been caused because of that. You just watch this shit. I actually know most of these people. Logic definitely does not work on the illogical. Dean Koontz is one of my favorite authors. Yep. Not a fan of Stephen King, but Dean Koontz is one of my favorites. Raymond E. Feist is my favorite author. Raymond E. Feist. If you're into fantasy books and you like reading, definitely need to pick up any book he's written. Yeah, Dean Koontz and Odd Thomas. I've read all the Odd Thomas shit. All the Jack Reacher books. Bro, I've read a fuckload of books. I did 7 years in prison, folks. I did a lot of time. I had a lot of time to read. Everything. Robert Greene. Yep, I've read all of those. Grisham, yep. Yep. Robert Greene books are highly educational, but they're controversial. And they're banned in prison. So what I had to do to get those books is I had a list of banned books that you can get sent to you in jail, and then you can take them from jail to prison, because they're not going to go through a banned book list to see if you're bringing banned books in. So that's how I got the 48 Laws of Power, The Art of Seduction, the 50th Law. I got a bunch of books that are banned into prison and got to read them. Yeah, for those of you that you want to start getting a better understanding of what's happening in the political sphere and the shit that we're watching and the stuff that I'm talking about, you need to read the 48 Laws of Power. Okay? If you have not read the 48 Laws of Power, at least have a fundamental understanding of what is contained in the book and what it's about, you're working at a disadvantage from an understanding. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting what's happening in front of you. The best advice that I can give you as a viewer to understand what I'm talking about, the dynamics that are at play with the shit that we're watching in the political sphere, with the president, your local politicians, read the 48 Laws of Power. The 48 Laws of Power. I can't stress this enough. You really want to understand what these people are doing, read the 48 Laws of Power. It's going to literally tell you what they do. That's how these people get and maintain power. The 48 Laws of Power is a collection of stories from world leaders. It's a book of collection of stories that teach you lessons, and it shows you how these people have gotten into authoritative positions and maintained it. There are certain rules you have to follow when you start attaining and maintaining power. There's an audiobook on YouTube. You can listen to the audiobook, but reading it, you need to read it because your brain doesn't absorb information quite as well unless you read something with your eyes. Do you understand? You can hear something, but you need to, if you're going to read it 3 times. If you're going to listen to the audiobook, you need to listen to the whole thing probably 10 times to absorb it the same way reading a book 3 times will do for you. I don't know if any of you understand like the psychology of learning, but when you read it as opposed to listening to it, you're absorbing the information a lot better. You're using more of your brain processing power to absorb the information by actually reading it. So you can listen to the audiobook, but I would advise reading it. You really want to learn, that's the starting point, the 48 Laws of Power. Definitely take notes, yeah. Never outshine the master. That's one of the first ones, yep. Yep. You'll read about smoke screens. You'll read about how making your enemy a friend will be a more valuable relationship in the future than just being accepting of the people that are already around you. It teaches you how to develop power dynamics in relationships, like how these motherfuckers do shit. But it's not a do this, do that kind of thing. It gives you examples. The book is just full of examples of things. Art of War, yep. The Key, the 50th Law, What Every Body is Saying. That's a body language book. You can go on Amazon right now and look that book up. It's a small book. It's an easy read too. And that's another one that will benefit you when you're talking to people. What Every Body Knows. Look that book up on Amazon. It was written by a former FBI agent. He goes over child body language, adult body language, attempts at detecting lies. It's not scientific, but it definitely fucking helps, let me tell you. What Everybody Knows. I've read that whole book probably 10 times. Jacob's just upset that he's not as smart as me. And I'm up here diluting my intelligence with the Earth's green herbs. Oh, so sad. Homie, if I stopped smoking weed, you would not be able to keep up with me. No. This book. It's written by Joe Navarro. There you go. The What Everybody Knows book that I was just talking about is pinned in the comments right there by Joe Navarro. You can go buy that book on Amazon. I would advise you do it and read it. The read technique, yeah. Yeah, I'm familiar with I'm familiar with all the interrogation tactics. Yeah. You sound like a complete narcissist. Let's do an IQ test together. Bro. Who are you? I'm sorry. Do you have a YouTube channel somewhere that we can go peruse and examine your knowledge base? Is that available for us? Because it is here. Check this fucking crackhead out in my chat. Pick me, coach! Shut the fuck up. Oh, man. The audacity of you to come into my chat and challenge me to an intellectual challenge. Fuck out of here. Whoa, what do you think? A status correction? What do you mean? Do you think you're a girl or something? Boonies? I'm assuming you're a dude, right? You're in here comment. You got a wee-wee right now. Are you thinking about chopping it off? You correcting your status somehow? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Maybe I misunderstood that. My bad. Hey, read the description of this channel. I'll tell you about how I feel about changing my status. Oh, shit. Hey, on the description of the Directy YouTube channel, I have changed things. I've put in like an actual description about me and the things that I believe and all that in the description of this channel, just so there's no confusion. And that's in there. Boys can't be girls and girls can't be boys. That's in there. If you think of something else that I need to add in there to define some things, I'm willing to do that. Needing to go back to zigzags? Zigzags? Oh, what in the shit are you talking about? I smoked Newports and couldn't imagine needing to go back to zigzags? You mean because I'm smoking rolled tobacco and you smoke rolled tobacco out of a zigzag paper? That's gross, bro. Oh, someone else's comment? Oh, okay. I was gonna say that's gross. I have regular rolling paper, bugler rolling papers. Yeah, zigzags are thinner, so you can get more of the flavors of weed if you're smoking that weed with it. But you don't want that to happen with tobacco. And I'm putting filters in them most of the time. Yes. Do they smoke in Arizona prisons? You can smoke on a 2-yard, a 3-yard, and a 4-yard, but not in maximum security. No tobacco in maximum security. And I did 1 year, 6 months on a 3-yard, and I started chewing, and then I went to a 4-yard for 2.5 years. And continued dipping while I was there. And then I got in a little bit of trouble and went to maximum security for the rest of my time and got no tobacco. No tobacco in maximum security in Arizona. Yeah, I did 4 years and some change in max in Arizona. And I did 6 years, 10 months total. Yeah, tobacco's already getting too expensive. I was paying like $7.80, $8. You saw how yellow that shit was? Oh, that hurt, bro. I cashed the whole bowl. They're like $7.88. And now they're almost $10 for what I was smoking. So I'm just buying a carton and then buying one of these fucking things. When the carton runs out, I start smoking that. And then when that runs out, I'll buy another carton and another one of those and start the cycle off again. I'm saving money doing that. I'd save a lot more just quitting, but I like smoking, so. Life is expensive. Yeah, you ain't lying. Odinism. Odinism is a common terminology. What's it actually called? I need to make more coffee. It's called Asatru. What's up, Ray Ray? It's a pagan belief. Polytheistic. Polytheism. Christianity is mono. Asatrus. Poly. I'm changing channels. Too much of Chris thinking he knows everything. Bro, am I fucking wrong about something that I'm saying? I'm not talking about anything that involves an opinion. So I'm either right or I'm wrong. And I don't have a problem being wrong. That's how you learn. Well, you know how many fucking mistakes I got to make to learn some shit? You know how many times I got to get the answer wrong to understand the answer? How many unsubscribes? All right, hold on, let me tell you. What was I at before? I was at 322,500, no, 495. Almost 500. Oh, almost 500. So 322,500. Let's just say that. Almost 1,000. 321,646. That's not good enough. You guys understand the point of that, right? I'll say it calmer so some of you understand. I built this channel cop watching. I built this channel documenting the government, right? And that's all I did. I literally only posted cop videos on here. Rarely did you ever see me or any of that. You know what I mean? So that's what 300,000 people, that's what I built 300,000 to. And when I am not doing that anymore, and I put content out about news or about shit like this, when you get a notification, it kind of gives you an idea of what it's going to be, right? Or if you're scrolling through YouTube, maybe it's not a notification, but you see that I posted something and you scroll up to it and there's no cop on the thumbnail. It doesn't say cops owned. A large percentage of the people that originally subscribed to this channel aren't going to fuck with that video at all. They're not interested in it. And the proof is in the pudding, because I just posted, I did this recently. I mean, I can kind of show you what I did. I can show you the difference in views. Oops, not that one. That's not the one we want. I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I posted, let's see. This is good enough for now. But if you go to my videos, there is this video. This man was killed by Phoenix police over a bike light. Tyrant cops found. Just having a cop on the thumbnail, talking about Phoenix police on the thumbnail with cops in the title, 45,000 views. Now, that's not a lot, but it shows you a stark contrast to everything else that does not have cops on the thumbnail, does not have cops in the title. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a reason. So the idea is to get the people that only want to watch that shit to unsubscribe. If that's half my channel, so be it. I don't give a fuck. But there is an audience for other shit, and I don't have that audience. And I understand the dynamics here. If I went today right now and I recorded some cops and I put it on YouTube and I did the same shit that you guys have seen before, I promise you, I know 100% I'll get at least 100,000 views the first day. The first day, if not within the first 48 hours, for sure. Easy peasy. I know how to get views. I know where they're at. I know I know the kind of dialogue and confrontation and shit that is needed to get the view. Like, I know exactly what to do. That's what the audience is built on. It's not built on these live streams. It's not built on me talking shit about politicians or other idiots on the fucking internet. Do you understand? Does that make sense? So, when I drop a video and there's no cops on the thumbnail, let's say it goes out to 10,000 people. 2,500 of them are going to watch it. And that reflects negatively on the promotion of that video and future videos, click-through rate, audience retention, all that shit drops, which all factor into your spot in the algorithm at that time. And your spot is dictated on how often you post, the kind of content you post, and I mean, it's hard to change. It's hard to change it. You have to lose almost all the people that only came here for one thing. That's why I'm encouraging you to unsubscribe. Losing 1,000 subscribers means fucking nothing to me, bro. Nothing. Sell out for views? I'm not getting views, you stupid fuck. But I guarantee you, if I fucked your mama and put it on OnlyFans, I'd get some views. I'm just kidding, bro. I gotta stop making jokes like that about people's mamas, because you're right. A lot of your moms have passed, and that shit's not cool as fuck. That's not cool. That's not cool. That's not cool. I need to stop doing that. I recognize that. I'm a fucking asshole. I know you said you weren't. I know. I'm joking, but at the same time, I'm also recognizing that I need to stop doing that. Because it is mean. It is mean. You talk about your mom and shit, I get it. I don't care if you talk about my mom. That's why I do it, because, you know, turnarounds, turnabouts, all good and all that. But still, I get it, you know. You don't want to touch my mom with a tip. Uh, yeah. I'll leave your moms out of it. That's not cool. Because your moms are probably nice ladies. You notice that, like, I know Griftifer's mom is a nice lady. That's why you never hear me talk shit about his mother. I never make your mama jokes, nothing to Griftifer like that, because I know his mother and she's a nice lady, and I would feel like a fucking piece of shit talking like that. And I'm having that realization, like, why do I only, even if I don't know your mom, I should still feel that way, right? So that makes sense. That's logical. So I need to stop. I get it. Okay. I don't even need nobody to tell me that because none of you have. I'm just having my own moment here. Cross the road. If his dick was stuck in a chicken like a dog. I'm going to end this live stream here shortly, and then I'm going to make some more coffee, and I'm going to be live on my other little personal channel, and I'm going to have some fun over there, too. I may go live on this channel again. I have some stuff that I'm going to, like some other, not YouTube stuff, but worldly events that I'm going to cover that I find interesting and I want to share with you. But outside of that, I'm going to go and talk some shit on some other fucking crackheads on my other channel. Yeah, I have a Rumble out there somewhere, but I don't even fuck with it. So Rumble's a joke, bro. Unless you have a contract and they pay you to be on the platform, it's not worth it for people like me to post content. Is it looping back? I'm going to be on Ruff. Keeps looping back. What? Nothing wrong with my stream. I don't know. I need a stream ending screen. Anyway, you want to see the other channel? You want to be there? There's a link in the pinned comment for you.